guys, today you're coming with me whilst I do my makeup, and I wanted to do kind of like a bronzy glowy summer look. It's probably one of my most worn makeup looks just because I think it suits my skin tone and I really like the way it looks. I also think it's a universal look. A lot of people suit these kinds of brown and bronze and gold tones. So if you'd like to see how I create a summer glow bronzy makeup look, then keep watching. I've got all of my makeup here in this bag, and I've reviewed this bag before. This is the Camouflage Company makeup bag. It's brilliant. I've had it for a couple of years now, and it's my most used makeup bag because it's so big, but it also has compartments inside so you can keep everything separately. First, I'm going to apply a moisturizer or serum on my face, and the one I'm using is the Roche Posay Pigmentclar Serum. You guys know how much I love this, especially before makeup, because it's really light and it doesn't add a thick layer underneath the makeup. Let me just get my hair away from my face. I've just curled it, so it's looking a little bit wild, but my hair feels so healthy. I've done a video as well on my hair color, so if you want to see that, the link will be in the description box below. The next thing I do is use my Urban Decay All-Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and I use that not on my face but on my beauty blender, which is very dirty at the moment, so I need to be washed. But I just spray this on that because I find that instead of putting water on the beauty blender, a makeup setting spray will help keep your makeup on for longer. Next step is foundation. I'm going to be using my trusted Giorgio Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 3.5. I really love this foundation. I just put a pump on my fingers and I kind of disperse it all around my face. As you can see, it's not a lot of product, but I find that the best way to get a good coverage and just like a natural finish with this foundation is to not go overboard with the amount of product that you put on at first, because otherwise you're just fighting against the product to make it look natural. If I need more coverage, then I'll just add more on top. So I'm just gonna bounce my beauty blender on my face. And I find that for most days that amount of product is enough because I don't really want a heavy coverage. I just want to make my face look more uniform. But for filming or for going out or for parties and things, I like to add a little bit more of coverage just to have that flawless look on pictures, which you can get with the Giorgio Luminous Silk Foundation without looking cakey or anything. So for today, I'm going to add another layer on, and that will kind of be a demonstration of how well this foundation layers onto the skin. So just another pump, and this time I'm going to focus on my cheeks, which is kind of where I've got most of my pigmentation, and I don't think I need coverage anywhere else. And as you can see, just bouncing the beauty blender on the skin makes everything look so natural. I love the finish of the beauty blender with this foundation. I think it just looks so airbrushed and flawless. The only problem is the beauty blender does soak up a lot of product, so you end up wasting more product than you should have with a normal brush. But I think it's worth it for the finish, and if you do it like I did and apply the products to your skin, not to the sponge, then you waste a little bit less product. So I just like to take it a little bit further down on my neck, although I don't really need it because the colour of this foundation at the moment matches my skin, my face, my neck perfectly. So it's all good. Next, I'm going to use my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW20. My tip for this concealer is to not go overboard with it. It's really pigmented and you don't need a lot of product at once. And so I'm going in with my beauty blender again and kind of just blending it down towards my cheeks, and try not to stay too close to my under eye area because that will kind of make me look a little bit more tired, I think. And if I bring it down, it disguises it a bit more. Another thing about the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer is that it dries very, very quickly. So ideally, you should only apply the concealer on one under eye, blend it, and then apply on the other under eye. But I always make the mistake that I did just then, and I put it on both eyes, and then I'm like fighting against time to blend it before it dries. So I've got a little bit more product on my fingers, and I'm just gonna put it down here. If you have dark circles, see, I've done it again. If you have dark circles, my trick, which I think works wonders for me, is to first apply the concealer on the dark circle and blend it downwards, and then you apply it on the end of the dark circle, my dark circle, ends there and just blend it on that area. I just find that that makes them disappear for some reason, and it always works for me. Now I'm just going to put the rest on my nose and blend it. For powder, I'm going to be using the Giorgio Armani Microfill Loose Powder in the shade number 1. It's always really tricky to show this on camera because I always feel like I'm going to drop it all over my carpet. And the brush is the Zoeva 106 powder brush. I don't go overboard with my powder because I do have dry skin, but I do like to use a powder to kind of set the concealer and the foundation. Next, I'm going to add some color onto my face with the Rimmel Kate Sculpting palette, and this is in the shade Golden Bronze. This is a recent purchase of mine, and I absolutely love these shades. This is the blush, this is the bronzer, and the highlighter. So for the bronzer, I always start with the bronzer contour kind of thing. I'm using my Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm literally just dabbing it because this bronzer is so pigmented. I'm not even going, just dabbing it onto the edge of the brush and kind of flattening it like that so that I get a more precise line, and just going to put this where I usually contour my face. And this is just such a beautiful matte brown shade. I find this brown shade to be a little bit warm toned, which is fine, and I think it's okay for my skin. But if you do have cool undertones on your skin, then you might want to look for a more cool toned brown. And this is so pigmented. I absolutely love it. I love this color, and this palette is really unaffordable, really affordable. It's only $4.99 I think, and you get 3 really great products that are highly pigmented, and the shades are beautiful. So now I'm just going to take some of it up onto my temples and under my chin, and I'm also going to contour my nose very lightly. Got to be really careful because this is highly pigmented. I might need another brush to blend this. Yes, I definitely do. This is the Bobbi Brown dual-ended brush. It's like foundation and concealer blending brush. Just going to use the thin end of it to blend my contour to make it more natural. I never used to contour my nose because I don't really have a wide nose. I have much more of a long nose, but since I started doing it, I love it. I think it makes such a difference. It just adds more depth and more shape to the nose, so I really like it now. Okay, now on to the highlighter. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques, what's this? The Duo Fiber Contour Brush, and this is a nice soft fluffy brush. I find that for highlighters I prefer a dual fiber brush because it doesn't deposit a lot of product on the skin. And I just pop this on the high points of my cheeks. Can you see? I don't know if you can see, maybe you can't, but oh my god, this is such a beautiful highlighter. So glowy and just natural. It's not like chunks of glitter. It's really fine. Oh, so beautiful. Don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. I'm going to pop some on the bridge of my nose and some on my Cupid's bow. I do apologise if you can hear banging on the background. That's my son. He's playing downstairs with Daddy, so I apologise. So now I'm going to go for the blush, and I'm going to apply this with the Zoeva Luxe Sheer Cheek Blush, number 127. And I just like to put this a little bit over my highlighter, but not too much that it disappears, but just enough so that they both kind of like mesh together. This is like a corally, pinky, orangey blush, really nice and summery. So I'm going to leave it there because after I do my eyes and things, I like to go over again the blush and the bronzer just to top it up. So let's move on to eyes. I'm going to do my eyebrows now. I'm going to be using the same MAC Carbon Eyeshadow with my Japanesque, I think this is called the Angled Eye Shader or Eye Brow Brush, something like that. You know when you just know what you're doing with a product and you don't want to change it because you do it so quickly? That's me with my eyebrows. I've got so many eyebrow products that I've tried recently and that I really liked, but just the fact that I know I can get this done very quickly and I know what it will look like, creature of habit, you know. Maybe I need to commit to another eyebrow product and give it a try for like a good month or so without going back to this one, and maybe that will make me, I don't know, try other products, because I always try them and I like them and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I like this. But then a week later, I'm back to this one. You know, if I want to get ready very quickly, I'm never going to go for something new that it's going to take ages to perfect. I'm always going to go for the ones that I just know. I don't know. Is anyone else like that? Or is it just me? For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Naked Palette, the original. This is still one of my favorite palettes of all time, and my the most used colour is definitely that gold colour there. What's it called? Half Baked, which is the one that I'm going to start with now. I'm just going to put some of that on a Zoeva Luxe Smoky Shader brush, and this is the perfect summer glow bronze goddess kind of eyeshadow for me. I find that this one and MAC Woodwinked are kind of like the best golden bronzy colours for a smoky eye. I have a little bit of fallout on my under eye area from the eyeshadow, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove it with my powder brush before it gets impossible to remove. Right, so there was a bit of a crisis involving a nappy change, a dead battery, a phone call. So if the camera image here looks different now, it's because I've been away for about 15 minutes, but I haven't added anything else onto my face. So let's resume from where I left off. Let's just reapply it just to make sure it's all still there. This is what life as a mum is really like. You can't plan. Things like that just happen and you just gotta roll with it. So moving on, next I'm going to be using the eyeshadow called Buck from the Naked Palette, and it's just like a matte brown eyeshadow on my MAC 217 brush, and that's just going to go on the outer corner of my eyes and on my crease, and slowly dragging that onto the center of my crease, but I don't like to go too far into the crease. And as you can see, I keep going back and forth with the amount of products that I put on. I find that's the easiest way to blend a smoky eye. Then I'm just going to take some of that Buck eyeshadow on my Zoeva 237 Detail Shader, and I'm going to run this along my lower lash line, quite close to the lash line, but I'm not too worried if it goes a bit lower, because I think that kind of gives this smoky eye a sultry kind of look, which I like. And I don't take it all the way in, I kind of just diffuse the colour slowly into the centre and the inner corner, but you know, the depth of the colour really is on the outer edge of the eye, if you know what I mean. Next I'm going to go in with the shade called Hustle from the Naked Palette, which is kind of like a purpley brown shade, and I like that just for the outer corner because I think it adds a bit of depth and definition. I'm going to be using my Zoeva Luxe Soft Definer 227 brush for this, and it really is just a dab on the product because I don't want it to be about that purple colour. I just like what it adds onto this kind of look. Can you see it just adds a little bit more depth? And then the same shade on my Detail Shader brush on my lower lash line. And then just a little touch of this shade called Creep, which is a greyish black kind of shade. Recently I've been liking putting it along my lash line on the top there. I don't know if it adds much, but it's just something that I've been doing recently and I like the way it looks. Now just topping up a little bit of Half Baked on kind of the center. I just like the golden bronze shadow to be very evident because I think that kind of goes really well, especially with my lighter hair now. I think that kind of ties in together with everything. And then with the Zoeva 226 smudger brush, I'm just going to apply some of this shade called Virgin, which is like a champagne-y pink kind of shade. And that's going to go on my brow bone to highlight that area, and then a little bit of highlight on the inner corner. Now moving on to eyeliner. As of recently, I kind of gone back to my gel eyeliner. I had been off it for a long time and just using pencil liner and smudging it. But one day I dug this out of my makeup drawer behind me there, and I just really liked the way it looked. So I am going to be using this today. Oh, sorry, I didn't show what it is. It's the Clinique brush on cream liner in the shade True Black, just normal gel eyeliner, and the brush is the Zoeva 317 wing liner brush. My biggest tip for gel eyeliner is try not to blink whilst you're applying it, which is really hard because it's extremely hard. I find it so difficult not to blink, but I just find when I blink it kind of messes everything up and I end up with eyeliner everywhere. This eye is usually a little bit harder because I'm using the same hand, but now it's kind of like crossed over and the brush gets in the way of the mirror, so I usually end up having to fix this eye. I know why now I was so off gel eyeliner for a long time. It's because it's so time consuming. I've been here for about 15 minutes now perfecting this eyeliner. When I'm in a hurry, which is most days nowadays, I really don't have 15 minutes to spend on perfecting my eyeliner. So yeah, this is a bit of a luxury, isn't it? Now onto the wing. I don't do anything dramatic. I just kind of try my best not to mess up everything that I've done so far. So as you can see, I've got no professional tips on winged eyeliner here. I really am winging it. I think that's as good as it will get for me, so I'm not going to try make it better because I'll definitely make it worse. Now I'm going to line my bottom lash line with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Demolition, which is kind of a brown shade. As you can see, there's not much left of it there, but I've lost my pencil sharpener, so I'm just going to have to try and make do with it. And I'm just going to pop this on my lower waterline. That really didn't come out well because there's not much left, so I'm going to top up with some of the black eyeliner on the other side, which is called Zero, the shade, and see how that goes now. I really didn't want to have to use black eyeliner because I like the soft look of brown, so I'm just going to put a little bit over the top just to intensify it a little bit more. Next, for some eyelashes, I'm going to be curling my lashes with the Model Zone eyelash curlers. And I haven't curled my lashes for a long time as well, but today I thought I would do it. Why not? Curling lashes is one of those things that before I did it for the first time I was really scared of doing it, but then once you've done it once you know there's really nothing to be scared about. So now for mascara, I'm going to be using my Benefit They're Real mascara, and this is my absolute fave. There's nothing better than this mascara for me. This is the point on the makeup that everything kind of starts to tie in together, because before mascara and eyeliner, I think everything just looks so messy. But there's always that little bit of moment of panic when I'm doing my makeup and I look at it and I think, ooh, is this really gonna look okay? But then it gets to this point and I'm like, oh, it's fine, I didn't waste my time. And then with my little spoolie brush, I think this is from number 7, Boots or something. Just gonna get rid of the excess. Because I applied quite a lot of mascara, it kind of clumped a little bit and I don't really like the look of clumpy lashes on me. So I just go over it and try to get rid of some of the clumps. So eyes done, let's do some cleaning up. I'm gonna be using the MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pen, I think it's called, in the shade Light Boost. I'm just gonna put this where there's some fallout of eyeshadow and where I wanna highlight on my face. But for this, I'm gonna be using my Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush because I find that I get more precise with it and I don't want to end up destroying all the makeup that I've just spent ages doing. I'm just going to take this down again towards my cheeks and blend it like this, making sure to kind of clean up the bottom part of my eye where all the mess usually goes. And then the same on this side. Now it's time to top up my contour, my blush and my highlighter. For my lips, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Color Riche lip palette, which is a recent purchase of mine and I featured on my haul video, which I'll leave linked down below. And this is just amazing. I've been using this so much recently. The colors are so beautiful. I actually used the little brush that came with it, which is not usually something that I do. I usually just throw away the little brushes that come with these palettes, but this one is really, really good. So I'm going to be using the 4th shade from the palette first, which is like this darker rose pinkish kind of shade. And these lipsticks are so creamy, so easy to go on the lips. They feel comfortable, they look beautiful, they're very pigmented. The only thing is that they don't last a long time, but I wouldn't expect that from lipsticks that are this creamy anyway, so it's not a problem at all. I absolutely love them. This little brush is so good because you can get quite precise in the contour of your lips. Now I'm going over with this shade here, which is the 3rd shade from the palette, and it's slightly lighter, and then I'm going to go in with the other one slightly lighter again. And I'm going to pop this on the center of my lips and also at the top here. Trying not to go too around the contour, I still want that darker shade to appear. And then the other lightest shade just really on the center here to bring some light onto my lips. So that's what the lipstick looks like, the 3 colors mixed in together. I think it looks so nice and I love this palette. So that is the finished Summer Glow makeup look. I like the way that the Rimmel contouring sculpting palette looks, and I love that highlight there. I don't know if you can see it properly. Let me know if you can't. If the lighting is not doing it justice, I will insert some pictures here so you can see it properly. And the L'Oreal lipstick, really, really nice. So if you like this look, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!